Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Cabral.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show, episode 2493. This is our first Cabral HouseCall of the weekend here on the Cabral Concept podcast. We're going to be going through 6 questions today on all things wellness, weight loss, weight gain, anti-aging, health coaching, you name it. If it has to do with the health, wellness, fitness-based field, we're happy to field those questions. These questions are typically about 12 weeks previous in the queue, as I hit myself with my microphone right here. And just letting you know that that's typically the time frame now. If you write in, it takes about 12 to 13 weeks to be read live on the podcast on the Saturday or Sunday show. But of course, you can always write in every single day at cabralsupportgroup.com to hopefully get answers for your questions same day. All right, let's get right into the show. First question today, hopefully you know how this works. Basically, I read out loud a question that's come in. I don't do any prep work for the show whatsoever. Haven't even read or seen today's questions. I just opened up the document, and it's my job to essentially give you another alternative, another way to look at this particular issue, and I'm always happy to do that. All right, so let's dive into today's show. Heather's up first. It says, hi, me again. I had a quick question about the natural flavors listed on the ingredient list for the daily fruit and vegetable blend powder. What is it? I was under the impression that natural flavors are just another word for artificial flavors, but I doubt you would put any of that in your products. Thanks for taking the time to answer our questions. Heather. Heather, happy to help. I answer this at least a daily basis. So the thing is, and you have to, it's not just the medical medium, but it's others as well. And again, like, God love the man. He's a good guy. He really is. But some of it is misinformation. Natural flavors are not artificial flavors, and they're not genetically modified organisms, GMOs. Some might be, there's no doubt about that, but not all of them are. And what we use is actually an organic apple extract. So that apple flavor that you taste is actually a concentrated apple extract. So the medical medium and others don't have an issue with vanilla extract or other flavor extracts like that, which, by the way, are still natural flavors. That is what they would be if you were doing it to the FDA letter of the law. So here's the thing. We actually use FDA manufacturing facilities, so the highest quality facilities that are NSF certified as well. I mean, this is well beyond GMP. So anyway, they're not artificial flavors. It's an organic apple extract. In our daily nutritional support, it's an organic vanilla extract. And what we're trying to do right now is actually work with the FDA manufacturers to see if we can put the vanilla extract or something like that instead on the bottles, but it's not legal. And so the thing is, like, we actually follow the letter of the law. But again, like, we get penalized because people make up whatever they want online or in books, and they teach that to people, and they have big audiences. And so there we are. But of course, I mean, again, at the end of the day, I run an actual functional medicine practice helping people to get well. And I use these products for myself and my own family. It would be inconceivable for me to do the two things because they are on opposite sides of the spectrum. One is fake. I tell you not to do that. One, at least what we use, is clean product. You can look right in the labels. Again, like, how would it be possible, I'm holding my daily nutritional support here, to have non-GMO right on the label and natural flavors, yet the natural flavors are somehow genetically modified mold or whatever they say it is, right? So just be careful who you're getting your science from. People love to cherry pick the science. All right, so Amal's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I've been diagnosed with an inflammatory eye condition called uveitis in my left eye. Doctors have not looked into what's causing it, but they think it's autoimmune. I also have something called lipedema. Every time I try to detox my body, it accelerates the inflammation in my eye, causing further damage to the eye. I try to take iodine, and it would help my eye, but cause me to rapid fat gain everywhere. I tried acetyl cysteine and the same weight gain, but it would lower the inflammation in the eye. I tried chlorella and spirulina and would feel some coolness in my eye. and I would clear up my floaters, inflammation, improve my vision. However, I would gain a lot of body fat within 2 days of losing weight within 2 days, but my eye would start hurting and I would also feel weakness in my right eye. I'm not sure what to do. I can't lose the weight without my eye hurting, and I can't detox my liver or the rest of my body without gaining fat. My hair has become damaged and dry and developed a lot of cellulite on my legs, excess fat around my ankles and everywhere else. I'm trying to work on my gut health. Any advice would be helpful. Okay, happy to help. If you go to stevencabral.com/podcast, you can actually type in uveitis and you can type in lipedema and you'd see podcasts on those as well. So just do feel free to go back and look at those specifically. But yes, you have inflammatory based issues. Again, so I have to give you my disclaimer. I can't provide you with any medical diagnosis, medical treatment plan, medical cures, or medical advice, diagnosis, treatments, cures. There we go. All right, so here's the thing, though. And you also said that you came across gynostemma herbal tea, and that could be helpful as well. But what happens is your body, especially as you start burning body fat, and it has to be processed through the liver as well, right? And it's causing you overall inflammation because most likely, again, I'm not giving you a diagnosis, most likely there's a lot of toxicity in the body right now. So I could recommend a product to you called Daily Eye Health Support. You can find that at stevencabral.com/shop. So I definitely, of course, it's a great product, but we need to look at the underlying root cause issues. If you can run the big five, you want to run the big five. If you can't, then you can't. But if you want to do a functional medicine detox, you might not do the first 2 days of the liquid fasting of the detox, which is the more strong part of the detox. You might actually just start with days 3 through 7 and just really ease into it, because we need to get you sweating. We need to get you then doing the functional medicine detox, and we need to get you cleaning up the gut most likely. So if you can run the big five, without a doubt. And then if not, maybe a little bit of omegas, the daily nutritional support, get on the functional medicine detox. Again, if you can, start sweating, start going for a walk, read the rain barrel effect, but do the gentlest protocols from the rain barrel effect is where I would start. All right. Alicia is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I would love to get your opinion about inducing period without prescription drugs. I lost my period a little while ago. I'm only 28, so probably too early to be in menopause. 4 years ago, I was pregnant and then was breastfeeding my baby for a while. Let's see. It's been about 2 years since I stopped breastfeeding, but my cycles don't want to return. After having my baby, I developed gut issues. Later, I also found out I had hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's. Okay, this makes sense. I've been addressing both. Overall, I feel much better and stronger comparing to where I was a year ago, thanks to moving to a new house and thanks to your protocols. I've done para-pro support, and currently I'm in the middle of doing the CBO protocol. I should mention that I'm underweight, 16.2 BMI. Since I've been feeling better recently, do you think I could now induce my period with the medication? Or do you think that I should wait longer and see what happens? Okay, so happy to help. So there's a few things going on here. One, we want to make sure that your body is balanced. So if you have low thyroid, and I just did a podcast on this last week, if you want to check that out, that is at stevencabral.com/2490. Even if your thyroid number is looking better, make sure you don't have any of the symptoms on episode 2490. So we want to do that. Make sure your thyroid's optimal, because that will throw off your menstrual cycle without a doubt. The next thing is we need to make sure and figure out why your body is more catabolic. A BMI of 19 is low. A BMI of 16.2 is very low. So we need to make sure that your body's getting enough calories per day so that it doesn't believe it's in a survival-based mode, because it would be very difficult to get your period back if your body's in a more catabolic survival mode. So for me, I'd be focused on getting again, I'm not telling you what to do because I know there's sensitivities around weight, etc. But just from the outside looking in, from a strictly health perspective, I'd want to get your BMI up to a 19 plus. And then I'd want to make sure there's no thyroid-based issues, that we're reducing the stress overall. And yes, then we can work on looking at the hormones. But the first two that I mentioned are extremely important. Sleep, balanced immunity, obviously reducing that stress, getting the weight up. And running, if you only run one lab, the stress, mood, and metabolism. And that will tell you whether your hormones are low. Right now, we're kind of shooting in the dark, as they say, not exactly sure where the target is because we haven't run any labs. Run the big five if you can. If not, run the stress, mood, and metabolism so we can customize a plan for you. That's at stevencabral.com/labs, or you can run it with an integrative health practitioner level 2. All right. And yes, I do think that you can get your cycle back. No doubt about it, because we've seen it happen thousands and thousands of times. Paula's up next. Can you do a podcast on adolescent sports medicine or adolescent sports nutrition? Sure. Happy to work with you on that. In terms of sports medicine, that's more getting into injuries, things like that. I think what I can do is a healthy training protocol and nutrition for adolescents. We can definitely do that. So yes, we will do that. And I could do one for children as well, for nutrition specifically. We talked about it a lot, but happy to help with that. So yes, Paula, thank you for writing in. And I'm actually, you know what? This is what I'll do. I'm going to pop it into my, I've got a big spreadsheet of the past 2,493 shows. And I have probably another 50 that I keep in the queue for just ideas at all times. All right. Lynn's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I've enjoyed your podcast for years now. Thank you for such great content. I appreciate that, Lynn. Thank you. I was diagnosed with posterior vitreous detachment by my optometrist. What would you suggest? Thanks so much, Lynn. All right. Happy to help with this. I don't obviously know any of your background. I don't know how old you are. I don't know if there's other things going on within the body, such as autoimmune issues, inflammatory conditions, heavy metals, etc. But this can happen a little later in adulthood. And what happens is there basically begins to become almost like this detachment from the retina and the actual eyeball, itself, which sits in this goo is probably the wrong word, but a gelatinous substance so that the eyes have room within the head so you can kind of like gently push on them and move around. But what can happen is it can start to actually pull away from the retina. So this can actually be catabolism induced. So not enough nutrients, vitamins, minerals, not enough calories, over exercise, over stress, over strain, sometimes staring at the computer too much, but not as likely. And another one is, the poor sleep, the low calories, the over exercise, all of the excesses, right? So it's breaking the body down. So yes, I definitely recommend that daily eye support supplement. And let me get that actual name for you because we recommend it actually in the private practice, but I never talk about it on the podcast. And so just, again, I want to make sure you get the right one. And I mentioned it a little bit earlier as well with the eye-based inflammation. So I'm just going to go over to stephencabral.com/shop. That sends me over to Equalife where all the products are. And I just typed in eye in the search box and it literally pulled it up. Daily, vision, and eye health. Those are the most powerful antioxidants that we know of, literally, in clinically verified science and research to help with vision and eye health. So I'm a huge fan of the product, not just for eye health, but it's a super powerful antioxidant. Lutein, zeaxanthin, astaxanthin. I mean, it really doesn't get better than that. Those are phenomenal antioxidants. Okay, so that's what I would do. Get your omegas in. Do your daily foundational protocol, level 2 or level 3, not doing the excesses. And if you can, run the big 5 to look at what might be off as well. So for sure, that's what I would be doing. And then if you have heavy metals, if you have other inflammatory conditions, we want to be working on those. All right. Zach is up next. He or she is our last question. Zach says, hi, Dr. Cabral. I've been looking at taking NMN, which for everybody else is nicotinamide mononucleotide, together with transresveratrol. However, I'm concerned with any implications these two supplements may have on Hashimoto's, which I have. I have read a PubMed study suggesting that TSH may increase and that NMN is an antagonist to thyroid hormones. I would love to take NMN for all the benefits mentioned in your previous podcast. However, I have reservations. Are you able to shed some light on the effects of NMN may have on the thyroid, in particular Hashimoto's? Thanks so much for all your insightful material, Zach. Thank you, Zach, for writing in. Appreciate you. Great question. Okay, here's the thing in general. So nicotinamide mononucleotide is a substance that we use in a product called Cell Boost. Cell Boost by Equalife is literally the most advanced anti-aging product on the market. You can look at it, check it out. You can take 1 to 2 of the dosages, servings per day. Transresveratrol, quercetin, NMN, astragalus, like so many powerful ingredients that we know help with sirtuins, DNA replication, balanced levels, healthy levels of inflammation in the body, and so much more. But now, could it be, keep in mind, everything can affect everything. So here's what I always recommend. Regardless of whether it's Hashimoto's or rheumatoid, etc., the goal is to get rid of and rebalance the body so you don't have the autoimmune issue in the first place. Like my highest recommendation to you, Zach, is work on getting rid of the Hashimoto's. Now, a lot of people say, well, it's an autoimmune issue, you can't get rid of it. Please read the rain barrel effect. Understand that you didn't have this when you were 8 years old. You filled up your rain barrel, and now your genetics allowed for the expression of Hashimoto's. Mine allowed for the expression of rheumatoid arthritis, right? So, but I don't have rheumatoid arthritis anymore, right? Had it at 17, don't have it now. So why is that 25 plus years later that I don't have rheumatoid arthritis? Well, the difference is it's always in my genetics. That's my genotype, but it does not necessarily have to manifest in my phenotype, which is my physical body as to how I am living right now. In Ayurveda, they knew that as well, called it the Prakriti versus the Vikriti. So figure out what's causing the Hashimoto's. I have a whole course on thyroid at stephencabral.com/courses. It's a deep dive into Hashimoto's, low thyroid, etc. But if I want to cut to the chase, you want to work on gut-based issues. You want to work on heavy metals. You want to work on viral-based issues. You want to work on stress. You want to literally work the rain barrel effect. And if you can, you're going to run the big 5 labs. And whenever you have an autoimmune issue, I can't recommend enough running the bacteria and parasite stool test. So that's how we help people get well. I mean, really, we figure out what the underlying root causes are. So people say, well, are you curing autoimmune disease? That's illegal to say. We don't say those things. What we say is we work on rebalancing the underlying root causes that cause the dis-ease of the body in the first place so that dis-ease cannot live in that healthy body of yours. That's what it's all about. So that's my highest recommendation. No, you don't need to take NMN right now. You need to work on Hashimoto's, right? That's what you need to work on. Then you can worry about taking NMN, nicotinamide mononucleotide, which is actually easier for me to say than NMN, and transresveratrol. 2 great products. But again, my recommendation, use the products, the lifestyle, the nutrition, et cetera, that are going to help you with the autoimmune. And then when your body is good, then you can optimize. So in our practice, we work from helping people attain a healthy weight, getting them well, and then work on the anti-aging protocols. All right. So Zach, hopefully that was helpful. Thank you for writing in. Really great questions today. Appreciate you. And I'll be back tomorrow answering more of our community's questions. Take care, everybody. I want to sincerely thank you for your support of this podcast. I couldn't do it without you, and I mean that. I truly do. I also want to make sure you knew that we now have multiple ways for you to find your answers to the most difficult health, wellness, weight loss, and anti-aging questions. You can find podcast-specific topics like thyroid, adrenal, hormones, sleep, digestion, Ayurveda, and many more at stephencabral.com/podcasts that will then link you to your favorite Apple, Spotify, and other podcast players. Plus, all new podcasts and weekly exclusive video content is being added to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Stephen Cabral. And that's Stephen with a PH. Head on over and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the exclusive content. Lastly, if you've ever found any of my podcasts or books to be helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a review on iTunes or your favorite media player for the podcast. Rating and subscribing to the YouTube and podcast allow me to reach more and more people and help spread my mission of healing throughout the world. Thank you again for being a part of this movement.